Hello, and welcome back to the Wasteland podcast with your host, Shade, and your co-host, Tyler.
Hello, it's good to be here because I actually set this all up, so it's good to be here.
Yep, but you're my co-host, so
Yeah.
I'm like the one.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you did.
Yeah. Shane kind of took initiative to get this going. He asked for donations like a peasant. He begged and begged.
That is not true at
he
all.
begged and begged.
People just gave us money for some fucking reason.
He begged for money.
That's so much bullshit.
and then we did it, and now we're at my apartment, and I edited a video last time, and then now we have a mic here, and this is the
bomb-ass
first
mic.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yeah, so this is the first official one because we have a name now, Wasteland Podcast.
The Wasteland Podcast. We didn't have one earlier.
We did not have a name. We said Teenage Wasteland last time. That was a joke. That was just a meme, guys.
Yeah, that was not serious at all.
That was. If you thought that was real,
we were not seriously thinking about that.
If you thought that was real, then you're really misjudged
idiot.
us. Really misjudged
Yeah.
our character. So let's, should we introduce our special guest or keep
No.
waiting? All right.
Okay.
Move on to the next topic. All right. We have special guest this time.
Is Jeremiah.
Hi, I'm Jeremiah. I'm really glad to be here, guys.
Okay, now Jeremiah is not going to talk for the rest of the podcast, so.
All right. Jeremiah, how was your day today, Jeremiah?
Just great.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah, everybody. Let's give him a round of
Jeremiah.
applause.
Okay.
All right, we'll see you next week.
All right. So,
never again.
all right. So before we did the fantastic Wasteland podcast last week, we've been doing Friday night movie night.
That was our first little.
That was our first
plan.
rodeo.
So all of this started as a joke. I went up to Tyler and I was like, "Yo, we should start watching movies we've never like horror movies every week."
Yeah, but that sounded awesome.
Yeah. And then Tyler was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I was like, "We're doing it. We're gonna do it."
And then we started doing it every Friday, and it's been awesome. We watched a ton of
Yeah,
great movies that
think-
I've never seen.
I think we did touch on it last week, last week on the
Yeah.
podcast. We talked about the movies we saw, but last week we watched Terminator 2, and the week before watched Terminator 1. So last week we hadn't seen 2 yet, and so now we can discuss the only 2 Terminator movies that matter and and why they're awesome. So
yeah, it was a great movie. The first movie I missed out on a little bit because I was very sick for about 20 minutes.
yeah, you missed a lot of the climax.
You did, yeah.
I was.
Including when the 2 characters climaxed
Yeah.
inside of each other.
I just missed the.
We did rewind for that part.
I had to rewind and show.
I missed the part where she climaxed inside him.
I was throwing up. I was throwing up in a toilet.
Yeah,
And
not from the climaxing.
I was sick.
Pre-climax throw up.
I get those pre-climax jitters. Often I throw up. So it's just how I am.
Sarah Connor took her top off. He goes, "Oh, I think I'm gonna be sick," and he ran to my bathroom.
She had floppy tits.
They were, and 2 they were pretty floppy. I'm not gonna lie, but
It's because
like,
she had
we
more
don't have
muscle
to. We don't
than
have to
fat.
talk about. We don't have to.
Okay.
Objectify.
Stop talking about
We don't have to.
Sarah Connor's tits.
God damn it. But yeah, so Jeremiah, what did you think of, because I saw both of them years ago, so what do you think of Terminator 1?
I mean, Terminator 1 was pretty good as a horror movie. Just kind of the thing kills you.
The thing
Like,
kills you.
The thing kills
Yeah.
you. If your name is Sarah Connor.
That was a good angle, that he just went to the phone book and just looked up everyone named Sarah Connor and just started killing them.
Well, he doesn't really care about the police because he's an immortal,
Yeah.
fucking unstoppable
it,
robot.
like,
so
so-
he's just like, I'm just gonna kill everyone named Sarah
Yeah.
Connor.
In Halloween, Michael Myers just doesn't die. And in Terminator, there's an actual explanation for why he won't die. Because he's a fucking robot and he's really
They
powerful.
explained why Michael Myers doesn't die in the Rob Zombie version.
What? How? I've seen that. I don't know what you're talking about.
Isn't he like a part of some kind of cult?
Oh, yeah, that's the sequel. I mean, I guess it's canon. And the two Rob
But those
Zombie
don't
ones.
matter.
They really are bad movies. They're
The
fucking
only Halloween
shit.
that matters is the first one.
The Rob Zombie movies are embarrassing. All of them are. And I'm sorry if you're a fan of Devil's Rejects. You have bad taste in movies. And you suck. So,
And go...
yeah, and go. You know what?
Commit unalive.
Don't subscribe to this.
Don't listen.
I don't
Turn it
want you
off.
around. Get out of here. Okay. What else did I think about that movie? Special effects were kind of cool. Some were bad.
Rubber
Yeah.
Mask.
Rubber Mask,
Was
Arnold.
Rubber
very
Mask
bad.
was bad. The stop motion robot.
I didn't get to
limping-
see that part because I was
Oh, yeah, you
throwing
were-
up.
It was pretty dope.
You missed the eye gouging scene too.
Yeah, I missed that.
That was.
I was either throwing
Really
up or
dope.
shitting.
And and yeah, and so it was cool. Good movie. I what would you rate it out of 5? Let's not do
Which
10.
one? The first one?
Yeah.
First one?
Because I'd still probably say it's like a 3, like average.
Yeah, it's a
but
little...
it doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. Like,
the score goes down because it's a little dated,
yeah, that's fair.
but it's still a really good movie.
Oh yeah,
And it holds up for its time.
one thing we compared
its
it to when we watched Alien, we noticed that this was supposed to be in space, but all the technology was very old school.
Yeah.
It didn't really look like they were in the future.
Kind of looked like they were in the 60s.
Yeah.
And then.
But since since the Terminator goes back in the 80s, they can use all the same.
Yeah. So it's actually really smart.
Yeah. So I think it was a really good movie. I definitely like Terminator 2 more than I did the first one.
Yeah, so we can start with that. Like, shit, where do we even start? I mean, okay,
Let's talk about how buff Sarah Connor is. in
Sarah
the
Connor
second
got
one.
shredded, dude.
She was fucking lifting. Oh my god.
I forgot.
I don't even know who was more muscular, Arnold or
Well,
fucking Sarah Connor.
Well, Sarah, honestly, because you can see her in the first one, and she looks like a normal, average person who doesn't really work out. And in the second one, she's got big ass muscles. What were you gonna say? I don't even know.
Something about her tits.
Let's not talk about that. Well, we can also. So in the first movie, you see Sarah Connor's tits, but there's a surprise cameo by Arnold's penis that flops around.
In the first...
I kind of missed that. I was not like directly.
I was.
focused.
I had to look because he was just
I
walking.
yelled out. I was like, Arnie penis.
Yeah, and I was like, what? 'Cause I was like, I don't know. I was just like not fully paying attention to the movie yet, and then like I kind of missed his penis.
You didn't miss much. Ooh, that's a burn. No,
Okay.
I'm just joking. It was fine.
No, it's great.
I'm just joking. It was perfectly fine penis. Arnold, I'm pretty sure Arnold had a secret love child with a maid he had an affair with or something like that.
Yeah.
Arnold's a sex pervert.
Well, yeah, with muscles that big, it's hard not to be.
Do you think? What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know.
You think all people who are like jacked meatheads are just fucking everyone, or
Kinda.
Maybe.
Yeah, like.
is that the hill we're gonna die on? Is that if you work out, you probably are also cheating on your wife and have a secret love child? Arnold did. That was also when he was the governor of California. Arnold has a very decorated history.
Well,
But
You know
that's
who
that's
else-
not exactly a bad thing to be
you
the
know
governor.
who else cheated on their wives?
A lot of people.
Okay, but like very
Okay.
well
Who?
respected. Martin Luther King Jr.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
What?
cheated on his wife with a lot of women.
What?
The
Yes.
FBI has like this big like dossier full of like
Yeah,
all the women he
they-
slept with.
Well, it's theorized. It's a conspiracy theory that the FBI killed Martin Luther King Jr. because they
Yeah.
sent him a letter that was like, "Hey, if you keep doing this, we're gonna fucking kill you. And we know that you've been having sex with all these other women that aren't your wife." And then he died.
Yeah.
But also JFK was a sex addict.
Yeah.
He and Marilyn Monroe got it on quite often.
Yeah, that's the big rumor that is probably true. 'cause
No, yeah,
he's
like-
the
I mean,
president.
look at the man.
Yeah. Yeah.
And look at Marilyn Monroe. She's
yeah.
fucking hot.
Marilyn Monroe, I might have talked about this. I always thought she was just a dumb bimbo. Then I actually watched a movie that had her in it and realized she's a good actress. And I actually grew a lot of respect for her.
I thought you said she wasn't a good actress. She was just
No,
attractive.
that's what I thought. I thought that she was only in movies because she's attractive, and then I actually watched one and was like, oh, she's actually good. That's awesome. I'm great. I'm glad. But she's dead now.
But
How did she
she's
die?
very dead. I think it was a drug overdose.
What's it? Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Huh?
Yeah.
But yeah.
You know how Jeffrey Epstein died? He hung himself with toilet paper.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what I heard.
I think the guards have gotten in legal trouble finally for not doing anything.
Yeah, because they weren't around the cell at all.
Yeah, and
They disappeared, and then someone snuck in and
they
fucking killed
they
Jeffrey
had one
Epstein.
job. He was on suicide watch, wasn't he? And then
No, they took him off like
oh my god,
12 hours
and they
before
stopped
he
monitoring him.
committed suicide.
It's everything's not protocol, which is already obvious, but then also someone probably just murdered him.
All the cameras
So,
got turned
obviously-
off too.
Right. Obviously, and people keep saying like all the doctors who have like done an autopsy on him have said like,
Oh,
this,
yeah.
this is not suicide. He was fucking killed.
Yeah,
It's like, you know how hard you have to commit suicide to break your neck? That's like
And
people...
he used toilet paper and jumped off like a 5-foot bed.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm very
it's
angry with
very-
that whole situation.
I think everyone kind of knows, thanks to the great social media advocates who have been constantly saying Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself for my amusement, but
it's very funny, but it's also true.
it is very true. What's some conspiracies we could talk about?
The moon landing.
No, I believe that one.
You believe the conspiracy or that we landed on the moon?
I believe that we landed on the moon.
Oh, so you're one of those. Okay.
Actually, to be honest, I never really looked up super duper into it.
I did.
I just kind of was like, the conspiracy that we didn't do it just doesn't sound right. So I just
No, it definitely 100% sounds right. They did not have the tech, because there's like this huge radiation fucking thing around the planet, and we did not have the technology to build a like if you sent someone in space at that time, they would have been fried.
Weren't they kind of fried? Like, didn't they die of cancer, like 2 of them?
But they okay, but no. No, and so the whole thing was there. It was a huge race to the moon between Russia and the U.S., and the U.S. wanted to do everything they could to get to the moon before Russia could, right? Before Russia did. So hey, if we just fucking fake it, no one will know, and we'll beat Russia to the moon, and then we'll win. And so they did it, and there's all the photos they took on the moon, all the the crosshairs, I guess you call them, of on the photo there's little crosses.
Oh yeah.
On the corners and stuff. They are, in some of them, the spaceship is behind them. No, the cross is behind the spaceship. So it looks like it was just painted on a background, and then the spaceship was put in front of it.
Okay.
So, also the carpet of the I think it was a space shuttle. It was the same carpet as the floor in The Shining, because people think that the director of The Shining directed the moon
Stanley
landing.
Kubrick?
Yeah.
he directed 2001: A Space Odyssey, and that was a movie, and then the moon landing happened for real, right?
What?
Yeah, Stanley Kubrick.
No, he directed The Shining,
Yeah,
and the carpet from The Shining is in the moon shuttle, the same design.
that's I don't know. That's a pretty far stretch.
I don't know. That's just what I've looked up. It's probably not true at all.
I tried looking up debunking the conspiracy, and it's just a bunch of nonsense bullshit articles that just won't tell me what I want to fucking find, because fucking online journalism has ruined everything, and Google
It's
just
because they
doesn't
don't
work
want you
anymore.
to know the truth.
Until you said something the other day, I thought I just somehow got bad at Googling things, but no, Google is shit now.
Google is honestly bad.
Google used to be great.
I could find literally whatever I wanted in 5
Now,
seconds.
if you search anything, it's always fucking shitty news articles by horrible websites that suck dick.
Post and
Fuck the
BuzzFeed.
Huffington Post.
The Onion.
Well, yeah. Well, at least I know what I'm getting.
Yeah, with the Onion, I'm like, oh well, this might actually have like a nuanced opinion on this. But like,
yeah, the Onion actually posts real shit sometimes.
It cracks me the fuck up though. It's so funny. I follow him on Instagram. Go follow the Onion on Instagram. You won't be disappointed. I promise. I promise.
It's just so many articles saying, yeah, it's all the conspiracies are bullshit, but I can't like figure out concrete reasons why.
That's just the government telling you that.
Only person I've seen cover it in like detail is Joe Rogan, but I think you'd have to watch like 4 separate podcasts of his, and I don't even know what they are.
Look up the clips.
Anyway,
what's a different one? What's one we could all get behind?
Jet fuel doesn't melt steel.
Jet fuel probably doesn't melt steam. I don't know how that works.
Steel, you know what I fucking
steam
meant.
Is a solid. Or steam's not a solid. It's a vapor.
Knew what I
it's
meant.
a gas.
You knew it.
I think 9/11 was real too.
But
I do think there. Edward Snowden actually talked about how like they knew beforehand.
Yeah.
What was going down, and then we did nothing to stop it.
I definitely feel like 9/11 had some help, like from the government.
Well, I don't know how far I want to take it, but I do know that
we're gonna be seriously put on a watch list now.
but Snowden said something about how like we knew it was coming, and then we just kind of like the government people just kind of evacuated and didn't really give a shit and just let it happen.
Yeah, because you never hear about it hitting
Yeah.
the Pentagon. Like it just blew the fuck out of the Pentagon, and everyone's like, no one even gives a shit.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is that jet fuel can't burn hot enough to melt steel, and the way that the Twin Tower collapsed means that the steel beams would have like melted out like that, and then the building collapsed in on itself.
Well, when you add weight to something, it's like whenever you like, you know, like a blacksmith, he doesn't have to melt it all the way in order to get it hot enough to bend.
But still, the jet fuel won't burn enough to get the steel to that point.
It probably helped also that there was like tannerite in there.
Yeah,
or
the government just planted bombs all around the.
Well, that's the theory. Is the tannerite is like it burns super hot and it is hot enough to melt steel, and like some of it could have come from the plane because it's like really easy to make, but some of it might have been there already.
Yeah, it's a shady topic. I think it did. I mean, I think it happened, but I think we just kind of, I don't know. I don't think we're as good guys as we might say we are. And then George Bush started the Iraq War after that and kind of said it was Osama bin Laden's fault when it was. The Iraq War had nothing to do with Osama bin Laden or 9/11. But there's definitely a lot of video clips you can find of him saying we need to go to war. Did you forget what happened during 9/11 and all that stuff?
Yeah. He just wanted to start a war.
Well, but I don't know if I wouldn't go as far as to say that 9/11 happened just so we could go to war with Iraq, because that doesn't even make...
There's like easier ways to do that.
Yeah, you could just, like, for one, you could say that Saddam Hussein did 9/11, but instead he didn't say that. So, but what I am saying is he definitely used 9/11 sympathy to get his way, and that's whether or not 9/11 is real or fake. George Bush is a piece of shit for doing that. So
yeah, he is a actual war criminal.
Yeah,
who should be in prison.
That's awful.
But Ellen's
friends with Ellen loves George Bush, bro. You know Ellen loves that Bush. You know what I'm saying?
She's gay. She's gay.
She's fucking gay.
That's awesome.
She's fucking gay.
That's awesome.
It's all that Bush stuck up in her teeth, just like hanging out.
Oh God, why?
I didn't want to think about
her
that.
friend was like, "I'm gonna introduce you to some Bush tonight," and she got really excited, and it was just George Bush.
And she was like, "Aw."
I was like, "Oh, okay, well."
Might as well make the best
And
of
then
it.
she was like, then she was like, "Oh, what did you do again?" He's like, "Well, I ran on the platform of banning gay marriage, like never having gay marriage become legal." And she's like, "Oh, we should be friends."
She's like, "That's crazy. I just had gay sex in the bathroom here."
That's crazy. We're best friends now.
That's crazy.
And then she like tried to defend it really hardcore, and it was like, Ellen, just stop.
How much do you think he paid for her to hang out with him?
Ooh, that's a good
Like,
theory.
I feel like
that's a good theory.
I feel like he pays for people to hang out with him.
Who hangs out with him?
I don't know.
I
Ellen,
wouldn't.
apparently. Like, I mean, how much would he have to pay you? Like, honestly, I'd hang out with him for free. Just
I would
because...
hang out with George Bush for free just because it's fucking George Bush.
Yeah, it's George Bush.
And he was a president.
But
and
like,
he could be like, I hung out with George Bush. What the fuck did you do today?
yeah, like, I mean, I'd probably pay money to hang out with George Bush.
I wouldn't pay money for George.
I'd pay like $50. Like, I'm not paying like.
I don't like George Bush.
I don't like him either. But like,
I don't like him.
The only time I would hang out with George Bush is if he said, Shane, do you want to come hang out with me for free? And then I would go, sure, why not?
George Bush would have to pay me to hang out with them. And then if he wanted to be a guest on this podcast, I'd have to really consider it. And I'd have to say, George, I don't normally charge a fee to my guests, but you are a man of wealth and I want some of that. And if I'm going to sell my soul to the devil, then, I want some money.
What if he offered you cocaine?
It's probably good cocaine.
Yeah, no, like he is like.
It's probably really good
it's
cocaine.
Probably like I would do cocaine with George Bush.
You may have me on that one.
And I feel like he'd like really like he'd probably be going off about how 9/11 100% didn't happen.
9/11 didn't even happen. No one even
died. They all live in Florida now. It's crazy.
Oh,
they're just always on bath salts, so they can't talk about it. Like,
all right, let's segue to talking about Chris Chan because
Chris Chan.
I think when Jeremiah was over, was that when we were watching?
Yeah, that was like episode 42.
They were talking about 9/11, right? They're talking about how his girlfriend, the girl he wanted to make his girlfriend, a girl pretended
a boyfriend-free girl.
Yes, a boyfriend-free girl. We'll have to explain Chris Chan in a second.
Yeah.
But a girl who had a guy pretend to be her dad was saying, because Chris Chan made a 9/11 joke, and he was saying that was really disrespectful because my mom and her grandmother died in 9/11. And we were there at Ground Zero, and we saw and this was all a lie. He was just trying to make Christian feel like shit. I don't know if it worked because Christian's kind of a dense, heartless piece of shit, but
he is so much of a piece of shit.
He really is a piece of shit.
He kind of deserves everything he got.
Yeah. Okay.
Almost.
Shane, do you want to try to explain Christian for people? Yeah, you can move that mic.
Let me explain. The
story time with
story time with Shane. Let me try to explain the vast intricacies that is
Kristen Weston Chandler.
My name is Christian Weston Chandler. I'm here to find happiness with my true sweetheart, who I've known for over 2 months now. So you trolls best leave us alone.
Weston. So, I first found out about this guy through Tyler. Before FNAC Club, whenever I walked in and he was watching Christian, a documentary about Christian that it has
not
like
by Christian.
Yeah, it wasn't by. It was about.
Samuel. Hold on. It's by Gino Samuel. He's amazing. He makes the comprehensive history of Christian. I recommend everyone. I will watch it and I'll probably link it in the description.
Yes, definitely watch it. It's Is it? There's 25 parts.
I think so far.
And they're each 45 minutes long. So, Christian, right? Wacko. Complete batshit crazy man. Start this off. Let's just disclaim that he has like super high functioning autism. But he's still able to like function as a human, I guess. Kind of. Barely. Anyway.
You can kind of tell, but it's not like...
It's not like, yeah. I mean, you would know that something's wrong with him, but unless someone like told you that he has autism, you would be like, I don't know what's wrong with this kid. Anyway, so he started making a comic called Sonichu, which is a ripoff of Sonic and Pikachu, and it's just a yellow Sonic with Pikachu's features and ears. And he started posting these online, and people were like, what the fuck is this? Why are you ripping off Sonic so much? And he's like, I'm not. I have it copyrighted. And he like puts his copyright in the bottom of the page of each comic. And so people started learning about this guy and learned that like he literally will post everything about himself.
Captain's log, stardate, October 21st, 2008. Well, it's done. Blanca and I, well, she broke up with me because the pickle man tricked me again.
And like kept like telling about like all this crazy shit he's done because he's so fucked up and weird.
Yeah, I would. So yeah, I definitely recommend everyone to watch the comprehensive history. But there's also shorter, condensed documentaries for Christian. But we were definitely talking about it at work, and our coworker overheard us, and she was very confused about what the fuck we were talking about. But what were we talking about? We were talking about the 14-year-old Blue Spike.
14-year-old. Oh my god.
So yeah, I'll explain it.
Okay.
He was pretending to be his sister who doesn't exist. There was like two guys. One was like, I don't know, one was probably over 18, one was 14. Maybe they were brothers in real life. I don't really remember. But they were pretending they had a sister. And they both talked about abusing her to Chris to torment him. And they were pretending that she was dating him while also talking about how they were tying her up and beating her and stuff to really fuck with him. And the sister, whenever she would talk on camera or on voice, it was just a 14-year-old doing a voice. And Chris couldn't tell. It was just a boy going, "Oh, hi, Chris. I love you." And then, though he talked like he did. It's not that convincing. I'm not going to lie, but he did have the mannerism down to sound very feminine. And he got Chris Chan to masturbate because, you know, that's what you do in a long-distance cyber relationship. And then right when he came, he said, "You just came to a 14-year-old boy, you sick pedo fuck." And then Chris was like, "Huh?" And yeah, that's what we're talking about at work. We should probably stop doing that. And
Yeah, we talk about pedophilia.
we talk about pedophilia quite a bit.
A lot.
School shootings, incels.
Yeah, we do talk about that a lot.
But it's pretty funny.
They keep,
We talk about it.
Okay.
We've
Okay, here's the thing about incels. They're virgins with rage, much like Chris.
much like
He calls himself that. I don't know if you knew that. He calls himself a virgin with rage. I don't know if you know that.
and he drinks his own fucking cum.
Yes, I don't know if he still does, but he used to. He used to drink his own cum.
Gotta save those nutrients.
Yeah. Well, he believed he would lose his semen forever
If he
If
doesn't.
he did it, so he was like, I don't want to waste all my semen on nothing. So if he drank it, it would go back. Because sometimes when you drink soda, it like goes down your stomach. You know, it goes down your organs, you know, all that, and then it goes down to your ball sack. So that's how it works, right? And
Yeah.
then you piss it out
You
from
piss
your
out
ball
straight
sack.
soda from your balls.
Yeah.
'Cause that's where
Sounds like
where all the liquid goes.
sounds like a Mountain Dew advertisement. Mountain Dew, piss it from your balls. I don't know.
Okay.
I'd probably buy Mountain Dew
Probably,
every day of my life after that.
yeah.
But I think incels are pretty interesting and fucked up
Oh,
in
yeah,
their own sense.
they're basically supervillains in real life because they have like this really pathetic, tragic backstory that wouldn't set most people off,
Yeah.
but sets them off
Yeah.
to be
Like-
angry towards women online.
Like, I mean.
And then some of them shoot up schools.
Right. They just.
It's like, how do you not mock them for that? It's hilarious. It's like,
Yeah,
it's like
it's
school
like-
shootings are tragic, and honestly, there's not much more that makes me more upset than children being like,
Right.
hurt. But then when it's like, oh, it's because the guy who did it was like a 17-year-old virgin, and he was really upset about it.
It's like, so why do you kill kindergartners? Like,
Right.
Yeah,
they couldn't have done anything if they wanted to.
I know
No, I
that
think
bitch
it's-
would have rejected me when she became older.
Yeah, it's like,
I think
man,
it's
find
awful.
a 17-year-old girl and
It's
shoot her. Like,
it's really
Well,
sad. It's
it's
one of the
even
saddest
worse.
things.
It's worse for me because I go to high school
Right
and this
now.
is almost like a everyday like fear of mine where I'm like, you know, today might be the day that someone walks out
Yeah.
the halls and tries to shoot somebody, or I might be sitting in class and I'm like, oh, what the fuck if I just heard like
Yeah.
gunshots off in the distance? Like I'm fucked. And we have all these drills and shit, and it's like really worrisome. But then it kind of makes it better.
There was just one last week, by the way. I didn't want to
Yeah,
talk
I
about it on
know.
the podcast because I didn't want to like date us too bad, but
yeah.
yeah.
But then to make those people who do these horrible acts look as retarded as they actually are,
Yeah.
it makes it a little bit better. Not as worrisome.
And
Because you're just making fun of these people who are too, I don't know. What's the word?
I mean, they're edgy, but I don't know if that's what you're going for.
No, they're too like
they're cringy to me.
Self-pitying.
Absorbed.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
Self-absorbed,
self-absorbed
self-pitying.
is a good way to put it.
You know? So then they take all this out on other people, on other innocent fucking people who have never even met, and it's just awful. But they deserve to be made fun of and talk shit about every single day of their lives.
They deserve it because a lot of them idolize the other ones.
Yeah, and they're just bad. They're fucking awful people, and they deserve to be made fun of. And you know, if that drives them to suicide, then that's fine, because that just stops one more incel.
This is why we should legalize prostitution. Like,
Well, yeah, but if you're underage, then you can't get a prostitute.
it should be legal. Still. Like,
No, I don't know if I agree with that one. I don't know if I agree with that one. But we should at least tell kids there's hope that one day you couldn't just buy a prostitute.
yeah, it'd be like, dude, for like $50.
And then you have really awkward sex for the first time.
Yeah.
And you're like, that wasn't really that. Why did I put so much?
Right.
Why did I almost kill somebody?
Yeah,
for this?
why'd I
Like,
care this much? It's
think-
not that big a deal.
I know.
It's really not.
I think why they think that sex is this like amazing fucking thing is because of like TV and movies,
It's
which
true.
paint it in like such a fantastic light, and then they're like, man, I want to fucking do that, but then they do it, and then they're like,
Part of it is toxic masculinity. I know last time I was saying stuff about Captain Marvel and like female characters in movies, but I actually do think toxic masculinity is a big problem, and we do like promote like weird things in movies.
yeah,
Like you can't watch a movie without you just want to watch a fucking Adam Sandler movie. He's gonna get the girl at the end.
yeah,
You can't watch a single fucking movie without the guy getting the girl at the end. I'm
Right.
I'm sick of it. I don't like it.
yeah. That's very much the plot.
I you know what? And something I do like about Marvel movies more is that most of them already have established wives or girlfriends, and that's just not the focus of the fucking movie.
right,
So
but yeah, these and I don't know. I just find it interesting to learn about them and like why they think the way they do, because it's the same way of like thinking about a serial killer is interesting because
Yeah.
like why the fuck did Jeffrey Dahmer cut up people and eat them?
and then there's
Like
the other.
what drove him to do
I
that?
kind of like get that more than the incel thing though. Like, it's like, man, I could like sometimes I step outside and I'm like, man, probably some of these people deserve to die, and I don't know who it is, but like, man,
And also, if you cooked someone up, they'd probably would just. I mean, it's just meat.
yeah, it's just meat.
It wouldn't be that different from eating an animal.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that I can say that and still say I wouldn't eat a dog because I love dogs.
Yeah,
So
I don't
I-
think I could eat a human
Yeah,
either.
so I can comfortably say, even though it probably tastes good, I don't want to eat a
if
human.
I was in the Donner Party, I could eat a human, but that's like the only.
Bro, I don't even eat frog legs.
I don't either. That freaks
No,
me out.
Those are pretty good.
I have a lot of friends who like frog legs, but I take the stance.
I will eat literally any kind of meat you can buy in a store.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some deer sausages last week and it was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So
Sausage is
everyone
so good.
eats
Deer
deer,
sausage,
but
yeah.
typically I don't. So that was fucking brilliant for me.
Was that your first time eating deer?
No, I had deer jerky when I was like a kid. My friend was a real big redneck dad. He had a real big redneck dad. And I stayed the night, and he's like, "Here, boy, have some deer jerky. I made it my fucking self, and it was goddamn good."
Dude, deer jerky is one of the best
I
fucking
was like,
things.
"Damn,
you
dude,
It's
South's gonna rise
awesome.
again." Damn, dude.
No, they know some shit with the South. Like, not.
Oh, yeah.
I would not put them in charge of the government, but it like if they're
Right.
like,
They know how to make some goddamn good.
What if
if they tell you
deer
to
jerky?
eat something, you should eat that thing. Like,
Yeah, no, I agree. We should compromise with everyone from the South and just say, "Look, we don't count your votes anymore.
Yeah.
But we all adapt your food and sweet tea, and
Yeah, yeah, and like
You
actual sweet
cook
tea.
for the
We-
entire nation.
we still absorb your culture." And then they should just be okay with that, but they
won't be.
They won't.
Because-
No, they. I
they
mean,
have- they
that's
have-
just slavery, but with
Extra
right.
steps.
yeah.
Well, and so some of the other interesting things about incels is that with serial killers, you don't always know someone is a serial killer until after they've committed an act.
Yeah.
Incels are very proudly proclaiming who they are online.
I could easily
could
walk down the hallway in school and go, that kid's probably an
No,
incel.
that's
That
not-
kid's probably an incel. I should keep an eye on that kid because he will definitely probably pull out a gun from his
This
backpack.
kid, I
and
know he's
shoot
got a
me.
gun.
You got
And that's the problem is that anyone can bring a gun to school. Anyone.
Yeah.
Like your backpacks are not searched. You can hide
Well,
fucking anything in there.
some
I know
of-
kids who sell weed at school.
Some-
I've heard of it
some
before. It's
schools
not
are-
easy to bring. It's not hard to bring
Some
a
schools
gun.
are very cracked down. That's been a thing in the news.
Well, that's good.
I don't know if it's our school.
Well, the most
But-
recent school shooting, he did it with a handgun,
Yeah.
and he just had it in his backpack, and then he just pulled it out,
I
and
think
the
he-
random, no one knew he had a fucking gun, and that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Like any one of these people could have a fucking gun in their backpack and just pull it out and shoot me,
Yeah.
and that's not okay. I should be able to go to school and not worry about getting fucking shot. The only thing I should worry about at school is homework.
Yeah.
Makes me angry. I'm very,
Should we talk
very
about?
passionate about this because.
We're 30
I
minutes
could-
in, so should we talk about the age difference thing? I think we wanted to discuss that last time
Yeah. Okay.
because one of us is a high schooler and it's not me, but only one of us.
Only one of us
It's-
is a high schooler.
It's our host Shane. So even though Shane's the host, if anyone's fantasizing about him, you cannot have him. He's underage.
Actually, yes, you can because the age of consent in Illinois is 17.
Okay, you can have him in Illinois. You have to come
barely,
to us.
though.
Just barely.
You got to come to us,
You have to come to us.
and then Shane will come on you.
That's,
I would.
that's actually how we.
You come to us, we come on you. All right, so Shane you're 17.
I'm 17 and I'm a
17
senior in high
illegal.
school.
Senior in high school. 17, perfectly legal. God, I hope no one else listens to this. That's 17. That knows us.
My parents listen to this.
Really?
Yeah. My parents listen to this.
Oh, God.
my mom.
they're gonna hear you say,
That's
"Come to
fine.
Illinois," and Shane will come on you.
They can survive the other things we've said tonight. About
Yeah, I wasn't too-
9/11, it's fake.
My mom.
No, it's real. Shut up. I actually
My-
think it's real.
My mom wanted me to talk about her, so shout out to my mom.
What's a fun fact about your mom? Just one fun fact.
She gave birth to me.
That is true. It's a fact.
It's pretty
Unless-
fun.
Unless it's not true, then there's drama.
As far as I know, it's true. So
Anyway, Jeremiah, you're 22 or 21?
22.
Jeremiah's 22, and I'm 27. So I'm like literally 10 years older than Shane.
but we still get along perfectly
But yeah,
fine.
it's like it's a 5-5-5, or I think that's 25. But whatever.
5 for 5 deal. I actually didn't do the math on that, so I hope you're right. I don't think.
It's just 2 5s.
I don't
Yeah,
think.
it's 5 and 5. Yeah, 5 between me and him, 5 between me and you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah.
That's
Oh yeah,
probably
because you're
right.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's right.
So I'm just over here, 17, barely lived my life. So these two
Yeah.
guys are like old as fuck, man. But we're still friends, you know. We get
Yeah.
along. We can
In
set
this-
up and talk about random shit on the internet for
in
hours at a
this,
time.
This age of ageism, where you can no longer call boomers by what they actually are, which are dirty, filthy boomers.
Oh my god.
JK, but that is the actual term for them. That's like the actual term. That's been the term for years now.
Yeah.
They're called baby boomers. And calling someone a boomer when they're a baby boomer is not any more disrespectful. I could say, okay, baby boomer.
Yeah.
It means the same thing.
That
Well,
actually sounds worse. Like,
okay,
you're
baby
calling them a
boomer.
baby. Like,
Yeah, baby. A
okay,
boomer.
baby boomer. Like,
Yeah, would you rather us call you babies? I mean, you act like babies. Oh,
yeah,
man,
you
shots
do.
fired.
Holy shit.
Shots
you
fucking
you
fired.
talk shit on our generation and then
Nonstop.
we come back and then you cry about it and piss your pants.
Well, and the fun thing is we've been saying details and facts about their generation, but we just made like a meme, and that's what upsets them.
We made it into a joke.
We made it into a joke. Yeah.
But
But
you want us to take it seriously.
all right, so Shane, I'm not going to say why you might care about this issue, but what do you think about Joe Biden saying that we shouldn't legalize marijuana because it could possibly be a gateway drug?
Oh my god, that's so much bull.
Because it kind of was like a big boomer moment for me.
That's a huge boomer
I was
moment.
kind of like, wow, that's pretty outdated. It's almost
That
like
has
you.
been disproven so many fucking times by so many different people over so
Yeah.
many years. It's not true.
You're making Shane squeal over here. That's how much it's pissing him off. But that was literally like, I was like, dude, if anyone votes for Joe Biden, they're automatically a fucking boomer.
Yeah.
He's why Trump is going to win, because Trump's like, I don't really give a shit. Like
Trump will destroy Biden.
Yeah.
Biden has no chance.
It's literally like he said that, and then he probably just dropped in the polls because everyone. If you run for president now, you have to have legalizing marijuana as one of your priorities, or else you won't get any votes.
Usually, so what happened with gay marriage was that like some states started doing it, and then the Supreme Court reviewed it and decided it should be a federal law. And that's kind of like I don't think weed legalization will be a Supreme Court issue, but it just seems to be like if a few states start doing it, which some states have been doing it, we're about to do it. Illinois is about to do it next year. It's almost next year already.
Yeah,
it's the end of November, so we're gonna be smoking up pretty soon. We're gonna have a weed podcast.
I won't because I'm not 21.
Oh, well, it'll be 21, not 18. You can buy tobacco at 18.
No, you have to be 21 to buy tobacco.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no.
So you guys can do a marijuana podcast,
right.
but I'll be sitting to the side, sober as can be.
You'll be the one running the show because you'll be the only sober one.
Yeah.
So, and
that's just a disclaimer.
Well, we might not do that, but either way. But if some states start legalizing marijuana, it seems like a no-brainer. At a certain point, when are we going to just make it a federal law where you can just smoke weed no matter where you are?
The thing, and people say that marijuana shouldn't be legalized because it's.
We can put restrictions. It's not. Right. It doesn't need to be like anyone can do it no matter what.
Yeah, I don't think
at any
time to smoke it anywhere because it's like getting drunk in public. It's like you don't do that, but like
you should. I mean, hookah bars. I actually don't know all the legality that's going to happen even in Illinois, but so you shouldn't be able to do it in public. I agree with that.
Yeah.
The whole thing that makes me kind of angry with the legalization of marijuana is that people haven't wanted it for such a long time, but alcohol is illegal, and alcohol does this almost the same exact shit to your body as marijuana would.
Yeah,
it like
if not
alcohol
worse.
just wrecks your body.
Alcohol destroys your liver and
your brain, and marijuana destroys your brain just as much as alcohol does. So I mean, why not legalize it?
It doesn't even destroy your brain. Like
marijuana like destroys brain cells.
Does it?
This was health class, a million years ago when I was in high school.
Yeah.
But what the teacher said to me was that it destroys your short-term memory loss, which would basically turn you into a bumbling idiot. So.
But I mean, alcohol can do the same.
Alcohol can really fuck you up. Also, and I feel like I've become stupider.
Alcohol is just as bad as you.
In fact, so was it your brain stops developing like around like 30 or 25 or something?
25.
Yeah, and alcohol fucks that shit up. So
alcohol fucks that up a lot. Alcohol is just as bad, if not worse.
Alcohol stops you from reaching your full potential, basically. Is what
so
I'm
does marijuana, though.
Probably, yeah.
No, it does. It's proven. But like the thing is that if alcohol is legal, then marijuana should be legal too, because alcohol is just as dangerous as marijuana is.
And there's a lot of things that are legal here that aren't legal other places. Like I know like the food industry is a lot different in other places. Like the way we handle trans fats is very different.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know much about this though, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But I'm just saying, like, we allow a lot of unhealthy things. So the idea that health should be the factor here, especially when alcohol is legal and tobacco is legal. Why is tobacco even legal? It's just tobacco is like stress relief, isn't it? Like, what would you even say? What would be the benefit of smoking tobacco?
There's no benefit except for the nicotine high.
Yeah, and it'll like if you're like super constipated, it'll make you shit yourself.
It'll make you shit yourself, but you don't need to smoke a cigarette for that.
No, you can just eat straight. You can just eat a cigarette and you will shit yourself like. Completely.
But you'll probably throw up first.
Oh, you'll throw up and shit yourself. Like
right, but so like when those things are legal, that's when for me it's like let's take the health concern out of it. So then now let's talk about the gateway drug concern, because that's what Biden was.
That's bullshit.
All right, but why?
Because
Jeremiah can take this one.
Okay.
The real gateway drug is like OxyContin, because they like gave that shit away, and it's just basically heroin, and then they took it away and people just started using heroin. No one was like, oh man, I need some OxyContin so bad, let me get some of that weed. Like, nobody did that. Everyone was like, give me fucking heroin.
They were smoking weed, and they were like, okay, I want this but more.
Yeah.
And someone says, how about cocaine? It's nothing like weed.
No.
Okay,
it's
yeah,
not.
that sounds like
I've never heard of someone smoking weed and immediately wanting something stronger.
Yeah, or even like something completely different. It's like, man, I'm super relaxed now that I'm high. I wish I had some cocaine to just like make my
something
like,
that
make my dick shrink.
Yeah.
Like,
I wish I could get some meth in here, man.
yeah,
It
I
is
want to
way
be
too
awake
calm.
for 3 days. Like,
Yeah. And I mean, maybe some of those other drugs might make you out of your mind to the point where maybe you would want something, but weed doesn't seem to be one of those drugs that does that to people.
No, I mean,
I mean, a lot of people are consider themselves stoners, and the reason why is because they just want to smoke weed. They don't really care about the other stuff.
yeah, because
They don't. I mean, what do they even do? Do they even drink coffee? They just want to chill out, right?
they just
smoke
they
weed.
just want to smoke weed and
Eat
relax.
Cheetos and stuff.
And I think a
But,
gateway drug, if anything, cocaine is a gateway drug because that's so easy to get addicted to, and then you would just want more. And then if someone offers you meth and then they're like, "Dude, this is the same thing but better," then yeah, you're gonna fucking do it because you want that coke.
This was
But
Joe
marijuana
Rogan.
is nothing like coke or meth.
Joe Rogan was talking about this on his podcast. This is now the Joe Rogan Review podcast. But he was talking about the Joe Biden stuff too, and he said a real gateway drug is pain, trauma, like stuff that happens in your life, like your history, and that will possibly make you want to turn to drugs. And I mean, he's right. We can't just find a scapegoat when it comes to drug use. We need to tackle the problem head on, not with using buzzwords. It seems almost like this is a tired myth that we've already discussed to death, especially in we discussed it to death in 2012. This was like a issue Americans already agreed upon years ago, and he's using these old talking points, and it's like, who paid you to say this? Like, who,
Right.
And this is coming from people who don't really support Trump, right? I mean,
Yeah, I don't really like Trump. I do lean more of the Republican side, but I don't support Trump.
Right, but my point is to say that we're not just ripping on Biden because he's like the Democrat top runner. This is a shitty point. You shouldn't have said
you
that.
shouldn't have said that.
I think Bernie should win if he doesn't die from a heart attack. But I think Trump is going to win.
I'm kind of concerned about Trump winning too.
Unless he gets impeached, and then still, like, it's just gonna be like, who's his vice president?
Pence?
Yeah, it's just gonna be Mike Pence.
I don't know. So I think that he has a decent base to keep him winning, but I wonder what will happen if Pence, if Trump's impeached before the election, and then we're voting between Pence and a Democrat. That would be interesting, and I don't know who would win.
I don't think Pence would win.
I don't think people really care about Pence. When it comes to vice presidents, people knew Cheney, they knew Biden. No, what does Pence doesn't do shit besides get
I
booed
forgot
at.
that Pence was a
He
vice
goes to
president.
baseball games and gets booed at, but so does Trump now.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
And he doesn't even have Trump's charisma.
No.
Like, Trump has that whole, like, he
Pence-
can get people going. Like, he's like it's like going to Monster Jam. Like, you just, like, everyone just gets fucking hyped and they kind of forget it's about racism. And then
Pence, it's like you can look at his fucking weird face and you know exactly what he's all about.
he wants to electrocute gay people.
Yeah, he wants to shock gay people. His main thing is like banning abortion, and he's weird. He's a weird guy who focuses way too much on silly things that, like, I don't know if I agree with any politician who cares more about gay marriage and abortion than like actual issues, because it's like, how do those get over everything else that's going wrong?
Abortion is a very tricky issue, though. That is not something easy to solve.
I think when you get down to the meat and potatoes of it, it's like mostly okay, because for the most part, you can't have an abortion at any point in your pregnancy. It has to be during a certain period, and besides that, it's not very fun. It's a pretty painful experience. So people might do it thinking it's like a get out of jail free card, and then they go do it and they're like, I'm never doing that shit again. Yeah. So my only real concern with abortion is that Planned Parenthood performs a lot of services that have nothing to do with abortion, so we should not cut funding to them.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And also, like, the whole, like, child being born out of rape thing and
incest.
And should a woman be forced to carry a rape baby? Or also if the baby will kill the mother, or will the baby, I don't know, just be born with a horrible defect and it probably won't live anyway?
I don't agree with the Down syndrome thing though. Like
that is tricky. That's kind of like, that comes down more to if you just agree with abortion in general, which I do, but yeah, you shouldn't just say, "Oh, Down syndrome, time for an abortion."
Yeah,
You should
not do that.
abort your baby just because of Down syndrome.
Yeah,
like
it's like, I mean,
but I think we should cut the majority of humans some slack. The majority of people won't abuse abortion, I don't think. So I think it's worth whatever weirdos who are out there getting their free abortions. I mean, they're not free, but they're actually very expensive. But I think it's worth keeping around for them. And also, yeah, I just agree with I don't think it matters if it's a certain point you are like, that is like a baby that's actually becoming alive. But I don't agree with when it's conceived is when it's like a human being. But
no. When it's conceived, it's just a sperm inside of
it's just like
it's just a ball of cells.
Like straight out from like not even the Bible. That's not even in the Bible. People always say like, oh, you're not supposed to masturbate because of the Bible, but it doesn't even say that. Like
it says you shouldn't spill your seed. I think
because the dude promised not to pull out of his dead brother's wife, and then he did. He had sex with his dead brother's wife. And then he pulled out. And God was like, dude, that was our one thing, is that you weren't supposed to pull out. And then he killed the dude. That was it. Like,
that is one interesting part of the Bible they never talk about.
They never talk about that. I had to look that up. I was like, where does the Bible say that? And then, like, it doesn't. It just says, like, don't pull out. So don't pull out and you're good.
Okay. Yeah. So always come inside.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get girls pregnant.
Or use
doesn't matter.
There's nothing about using condoms either. You can like use condoms or don't pull out. Like and you're.
You guys should. Okay, this is real talk. HPV is like super prominent STD that like most people already have if they have sex, because almost everyone has it.
Yeah.
So you need to use protection no matter what.
Even HPV.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Right. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, it's genital warts. Herpes too.
Yeah.
Pretty much everyone has both of those.
A lot of people have a lot of these things.
It's
so
like
you should literally just use a condom. Maybe if you're married, don't, whatever. But you should probably be using a condom when you're having sex.
You will be sharing HPV if you're married, though.
Yeah.
There are two types of herpes. There are like whenever you get cold sores on your mouth.
Yeah.
That's herpes.
Yeah.
Right.
But cold sores on your genitals,
just
different type of herpes.
But why would you just? There's other things you can get too. So what's the point? Just
live on the edge, man.
Just wear a condom. That's my advice to people, especially if it's a hookup.
Wear a condom and don't pull out.
Because HPV will get girls cancer too.
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
It's like
it's not really prostate checked.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. I don't think you can figure it out in guys. I think if you're a guy, it does nothing to you.
It's just genital warts. It's
all
HPV is.
But so
I also don't want a wart on my dick.
Yeah, wear a condom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like
that's the main thing I'm trying to get. That's my message. That's my message to the people out there.
That is the whole point of this podcast.
It's the whole reason I wanted to start the Wasteland podcast, and why the Wasteland is in the title of the podcast is because
it's the wasteland of the vagina. I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Let's stop talking about sex.
This is our sex education course. I'm trying to educate. What's wrong with that? Did we talk about Terminator 2 at all?
Yeah, for like 2 seconds.
Yeah, we talked about it for 2 seconds. Then we started talking about like abortion.
We started talking about incels and stuff.
We should try and get into the time
of
Spotify, so that we can upload to Spotify.
We only got much more time.
We got 29 more minutes.
Well, should we talk about T2?
Well, we said that T2 was a good movie. That's all.
Really
T2
good.
is better. So if I gave T1 a 3 out of 5, I'd probably give T2 it's almost a perfect movie.
It's like
So
4.5 out of 5.
I'd probably have to say 5 out of 5. And if you increased it to like a 10 out of 10, I'd probably say like 9. But if we're going out of 5, I'm probably gonna say 5 out of 5. Perfect. Perfect.
Definitely.
4.5 out of 5. No Arnie dick.
Yeah,
That's the first one though.
if we
No, yeah, no.
To get that,
there's-
you need,
there's
I need
no-
some more Arnie dick in there.
there's
need,
no
like-
nudity. If you want to watch T2 and you are a Christian, so you think it's okay to show gore to your kids but not nudity, then you can watch T2 and not T1.
Yeah.
So that's no nudity in that movie.
Or just skip through the nudity because it's not really a.
Or just teach your kids it's okay and not to shame people for having tits and dicks.
Right. Tits and dicks are just, part of the human body.
Right.
You should love them.
You should love both.
Yeah.
Consensually.
Consensually. There, yes.
Don't just go around grabbing people's
All right, we
dicks.
don't need to
Okay.
do. Let's not make jokes about that.
Do we want to talk about The Room?
Yeah, I think
Or just Tommy Wiseau in
I
general?
think we talked about this is like the cringe podcast. We talked about Chris Chan and then Tommy Wiseau, but these are things that everyone online probably already knows.
We
but
never
if you-
talked about Tommy Wiseau.
No, I know, but last time I think I said we should talk about The Room. I don't. Was that in the podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, right at the end.
okay, so Jeremiah
talk about-
hasn't seen it, right?
No.
I've seen the whole thing.
I've seen too much.
Shane has not seen all of it.
I've seen
Maybe we'll make him watch the rest of it, and then we'll come back to this topic.
one
But let's.
third of the movie is sex scenes.
So Shane, talk about everything you've seen so far. This is story time, chapter 2
Chapter 2.
with Shane.
The movie opens with Tommy Wiseau playing Johnny. I'm kidding. I don't know. I don't remember. It was a long time ago when I saw this movie. His name is Johnny, and he goes, "Oh, hi, Mark. What are you doing up here on the roof?" And everyone talks like that.
Wait, that's
The entire
actual
movie?
opening of the movie?
No, that's not. I don't even remember the opening of the movie. It was something just really bad. But basically, the movie is about how Tommy's girlfriend cheats on him, and then she says that Tommy hits her, and she's lying, and then it's Tommy just like gets mad about it or something. I don't know. I didn't watch the entire movie. But basically, the start of the movie is like he comes home and this weird neighbor kid wants to watch him have sex with his girlfriend. And then the sex scene is like really, really, really drawn out and long and awkward, where they just like tickle each other and kiss. And then like there's like this really cheesy music and moaning in the background. And then eventually they like air quotes have sex
Yeah. So,
for like
but then-
another 10 minutes.
Right. Now let's start talking about like the plot. Like,
And then that happens 2 more times. There are 2 more sex scenes exactly like that. And then, yeah.
So the plot of the movie, I mean, everyone's seen it by now and they know all the jokes, but Lisa cheats on Johnny with his best friend Mark. And then Lisa, I don't remember, but she is a bitch about it. I'm pretty much Tommy Wiseau wrote her to be like just a pure evil person with no redeemable qualities. And Mark is also kind of an asshole. And everyone's just really mean to Johnny, except for the boy Denny or whatever his name is, who wants to watch him fuck. So, and he says something really corny.
This is the movie where Tommy Wiseau walks up on the roof and goes, "I did not hit her. I did not hit her. It's bullshit." And he throws like an empty milk jug on the ground. And then he goes, "Oh, hi, Mark." And he
Yes.
goes, "Oh, hi, Johnny."
Yeah, everyone says "oh hi" in that movie. I mean, like I said, everyone already knows The Room, but
Yeah.
what I'm mainly trying to get out of this is that it made Shane uncomfortable, and
I couldn't watch it anymore. It was too bad.
and I'm that makes me happy that Shane was uncomfortable from The Room. But you should finish it. Like I keep saying this to people now because everyone keeps wanting to talk about The Room with me, but The Room is a movie that's not enjoyable at all. But then after you've experienced it, then you have fond memories of how bad it was.
It's like 2 girls, 1 cup if it was really long. Like
Maybe. Yeah, I don't want to talk about 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Jedi Fallen Order?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a lot of us have been playing it, except for Jeremiah.
So the majority.
Yeah, and the majority of people in this room, but also a lot of people
people who
we know, and everyone I know likes it a lot. But I I will say there is some horrible slowdown issues, drop in frame rates, bad load times.
The animation's not very good.
Sometimes there's some jank.
There's some jank shit going on.
Sometimes characters, sometimes models. I won't say character models, but just models won't load up very well.
Yep.
Sometimes
the black chick has buggy eyes and it freaks me the fuck out.
It's not really a graphical issue, but
she just needs.
Sometimes when you run in on enemies before they load, they're T-posing on you, and then they move around T-posing. It's really weird.
I've never had that. Happen.
That's happened to me when I fought the second sister, and it happened to me with stormtroopers.
That's awesome. Dude, I wish that would happen.
Because I sprint through because I don't want to fight enemies. I'm playing on hard difficulty, and then just.
I love fighting.
I fight them, but once I die and I already have the XP, then I'm like, I don't want to fight them again. So I just run through really fast. Okay. Try to save my health. Now I have the third stim pack, so I'm doing better. You only
have 3?
Yes, I only have 3.
I ended the game with 8.
Well, I only found 1 so far.
What the fuck?
But
where I was at in your play, whenever I reached your spot, I had like 6.
Oh, I only have the 1 I found on Kashyyyk. I searched high and low. I haven't found any.
You are not.
I've searched high and low, my friend.
Okay, not enough.
Anyway.
There's one on Bagano, right?
I didn't find it.
Look harder. It's not that hard to find.
Anyway, I think you guys were over, and I was fucking like, "What the fuck do I do?" I did not understand the game at all when you guys came over. Now I understand a lot better.
It's so much fun.
So now that we got the bad out of the way, the combat is amazing.
Combat's amazing. It's much fun.
Some of the most satisfying combat. Yes,
the boss fights are so fun.
So I know it is comparable to Dark Souls, and I played Demon Souls and Bloodborne. I thought they were all right, but I don't know if it's ever really clicked for me before.
I loved Dark Souls 3.
God of War clicked for me a lot.
Yeah,
and apparently this is supposed to be comparable. But
yeah, it's different, but not really.
But yeah, the parry
system
not
as difficult as Dark Souls is, but it has like the same dodging and parrying.
Yeah. I'm playing on hard, so the parry windows like shrunk, and I do less damage, so it really feels like Dark Souls when I'm playing. And I really like it. Like. I feel like I have to fight with a sword against a lot of people at once, and it's hard to do that in a video game without being stylish and flashy. Like, this feels more of a simulation of that style, and I really enjoy it.
I might have to play that. That sounds really good.
Yeah, you should definitely play it. I recommend it to everyone.
It's literally like Uncharted's, like,
the beginning
platforming
is slow.
And running around, and then it just turns, or like with some Assassin's Creed shit in there.
Yeah.
And then it just has, like, fucking out of nowhere Dark Souls combat, and it's really satisfying.
Yeah. Like, the very beginning is very slow, but then, like, immediately you're pushed into, like, action. You're fighting off all these stormtroopers.
Once he whips out his saber, the second he whips his saber out, it's a good game.
His dick.
The second he whips the saber out, it's a good game.
No, it's a great game. I loved it so much. I actually want to replay it.
Yeah, so Shane beat it. I haven't beat it yet, but Shane has beat it.
The ending is so, like, typical of Star Wars, just bad. It's so cringy.
But it doesn't. But the experience was worth it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, it was fun to play.
I mean, again,
the boss fight's amazing. Some of the best boss fights are whenever you're fighting against like.
I fought 2 of the
Inquisitors.
Lords. I fought 2 of the Inquisitors, which are like, they're not Siths. They're just like dark Jedis who've been trained to work for the Empire. Because Star Wars has the rule of 2, where there can only be 2 Sith Lords, and the rest, I guess, are just like their little pathetic underlings.
Yeah.
But they're still strong enough to deal damage to you. And those 2 fights were phenomenally fun.
They are so much fun. So there are like mini bosses in that game, where they're just like animals and beasts.
Yeah.
And those are so fun, but it's so much different to play against an enemy with the lightsaber. It's just so satisfying and cool.
And landing the parries on them, which is rare for me, and
doing
like really good dodges. Yeah, doing like dodges. And the ninth sister, she would throw her double-ended lightsaber at you, and you just if you dodged, it would hit you. So you have to like really block it, because
and if you parry it, it'll do damage to her whenever it comes back.
I didn't do that. That's awesome. I threw my lightsaber at her though a few times. I was like, "How do you want to get bitch?"
Some of the force powers are kind of like
it's no Force Unleashed, but that's really not the point.
Yeah, they're kind of toned down a little bit. You can't like just pick. Well, you can pick stuff up eventually and just throw it at people, and you can push them off the edge. But the Force isn't as like you can't use it as freely as you could in Force Unleashed. Which is good for this style of game. because it kind of
you
and you aren't like a full-fledged powerful Jedi.
You start out really weak in the Force.
Yeah, you start out basically as a Padawan.
Yeah. Yeah, and you kind of relearn some of your Jedi training as you're going along.
Which I don't know why you don't just remember right away, because that's usually how memory works. But fucking
well,
he's smoking weed.
He's out of practice. Yeah, his brain's been ruined from all the alcohol and weed abuse. And
he talked to George Bush too often.
He talked to George Bush. He believes in a bunch of 9/11 conspiracy theories. But
he's basically Chris Chan of the Jedi universe.
So you don't like the girl with the bug eyes, but I will say I do like Cal. He's a good character.
He plays the Jeremiah he plays this character in Gotham that is supposed to be like the Joker.
Oh yeah, he's in Gotham. Yeah, he's in Gotham.
And he did a phenomenal job.
Yeah.
I can't speak sometimes. Bear with me. He did a phenomenal job.
This is a very different role for him then, because if he played something similar to Joker.
Yeah.
This is a very different role. I think he's really good. I think
he did a very good job.
Yeah, he's really good. And then
it's a little cheesy. That's just what comes with.
Yeah, it's still Star Wars.
Yeah,
it's still it does come with the territory.
Star Wars is supposed to be kind of cheesy.
Yeah, Star Wars is at its best when it can make you feel like a kid again.
Yeah, like you're supposed to be like, oh man, look at that fucking Muppet. It lifted something out of the water.
It's
like it lifted some.
Yeah, Star Wars always has an endearing quality about it. So if we do want to talk about The Mandalorian really fast, something that I noticed the first episode was the blend of CGI and practical effects is done really well in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like
they didn't stick with just one or the other.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it. Like I feel like really just I feel like Deadpool pushed that in, and then Star Wars just
Deadpool looks very good because it's like real fabric that they later alter his face with. And yeah, Star Wars has been they do that in episode 7 and 8 as well, but The Mandalorian just looks great. It looks like you're watching Star Wars.
Yeah, that's what I liked about the original trilogy, is that R2 and C-3PO were literally people in suits.
Yeah.
And that was cool because it was actually real, and it looked okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had a tall, skinny dude and
it was
a midget,
believable,
and they were just rolling around. And...
R2 looks perfect.
Yeah,
right. Well, it's
R2 is like movie magic, and that's something I think he looks weird in the prequel movies because he's got more CGI to him. Also, C-3PO looks in episode 2 when they put his head on a battle droid's body. That may have been the worst thing they've ever done in Star Wars. And
they
just need to find the perfect blend of CGI and
practical effects. And then the new movies are doing it too. But the fact that Mandalorian is doing it and doing it so well, that blew me away right off the bat.
Like his armor.
Can we talk about
Mandalorian's armor? Is all real.
Yeah. His suit looks fantastic.
It's so badass.
But can we talk about how awesome IG-88 looked? The battle droid, or not the battle droid, but the droid bounty hunter.
Bounty hunter droid.
He was badass.
Now
he would just swing his face around and shoot people.
He is full CGI, but the.
Is he really?
I looked like it. I mean, at least he's animated in CGI.
Yeah, I bet they had
the textures on him looks amazing.
Whenever he was standing right next to the Mandalorian, he looked real, like some guy in a suit.
Well, that could be.
But whenever he was fighting, it definitely looked.
Yeah, so it might be a blend of both. But when he moves like a robot, and the way his arms swing around and have a little bit of a little rocky motion,
like it wiggles back into.
It looks like he has weight on him. And look, he's got real joints. He's made. It doesn't look like fake CGI shit.
Right.
It looks great, and just something about a good movie when it has good visuals is that you can just look at the visuals and be blown away. It's kind of like when you read a comic and you're just looking at the art and you're like, wow, this is awesome. And then if it has a good story, then it's even better. And so far, Mandalorian has a good hook to it that makes it interesting, which we shouldn't spoil, even though people have already spoiled it all over. But but it's just really high quality, and that's really nice to see.
Starts with a B and ends with duh.
Duh. B-duh.
Good stories draw good artists.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Star Wars has a big profile.
A good story, your art won't look like shit.
Yeah.
Oh
my god! Something one of my friends pointed out to me was when you see the stormtroopers in the first episode, since the Empire's been defeated at this point in the story, which is makes the story way more interesting already.
Right.
Yeah.
The stormtroopers' armor is fucked up. They're all dirty. They look like shit.
Because they've been like living as outlaws, basically.
Yeah, they have to hide in secrecy.
They're rebel soldiers.
Pretty much, yeah. The Empire's rebels now. Yeah.
Because this is after episode 6.
This is like the perfect timeline for exploitation.
This is after episode 6, but before episode 7.
Yeah, it's like a few years after 6 and way before 7. But
the Empire's fallen, but the First Order, is that what it's called?
I don't think they've started yet.
They haven't. No, they're just starting. Like the guy, that was like part of the First Order, but they're kind of building up.
Okay. Yeah, the Empire's just kind of still existing, but they're not
barely.
They're not
the
like
same.
power. No. Yeah, they're not like the
Palpatine
dictatorship.
is definitely dead, and it's noticeable.
Until 9. Palpatine's in 9.
Yeah, I know that, but
that could either be
That's
amazing or horrible. We'll
30
see.
years later or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Mandalorian said 25 years before episode 7.
Yeah, it's 5 years after 6 and 25 before 7. Yeah.
Which is a great time period that no one's like discussed.
Yeah. That's
Like
when-
no one showed how the First Order
It
came.
is in books and stuff, but fuck that shit.
And
No one
Disney
has time.
also
There's
wiped
so
all
many
that out
books.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like.
Yeah, it's a great time. It's a great time to bust out this time period with a new show. So yeah, because like the Obi-Wan show is coming later, which is probably going to be amazing too.
Yeah.
That's like before episode 4.
Yeah, it's gonna be between 3 and 4 because Obi-Wan dies in 4.
Right.
So it has to be before 3 and 4, which is fine. But this time period is.
If you haven't seen episode 4, we're sorry for the spoilers.
Oh shit! I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I shouldn't mention the Death Star blowing. Oh fuck,
dude!
But
that movie has only been out for like 30 years.
I think more.
I think it was what 77.
777.
So
yeah,
we're at 40
bruh.
some odd years. Fuck.
If you guys haven't seen episode 4, that means you probably haven't seen Empire Strikes Back, and Empire Strikes Back might be like my favorite movie of all time. So please go watch these movies.
They're all on Disney Plus. Watch them,
Yeah.
please. I need to rewatch them because I haven't seen them in a long time.
Yeah, they're great. Return of the Jedi is a little iffy, but it doesn't matter. The other two are so good. But yeah, no, Mandalorian fucking rules. And there's a new episode tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
We're not gonna watch it, but we'll watch one Saturday.
We're watching Hereditary tomorrow.
Yes. So anyone who wants to
Yes.
watch Hereditary, and then when we talk about it, you can watch it, and then you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah. So everyone
So
watch
anyone can
Hereditary
participate.
tomorrow.
Yeah, if you do it on Friday night, then it's like you're with us in spirit. But if you don't, then I don't. That's fine too. You can just watch anytime. You have till next Thursday. We have till next week. I don't know when this is fucking going up.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah, we have 10 more minutes if we want to get this in time. This is considerably shorter than the pilot. But
I wanted it shorter than the pilot though.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted it around this time,
Okay.
and we can definitely upload it on Spotify too.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Yeah,
if the quality is good enough.
it should be.
Should be. All right. How should we end this? What did we do for the last one? We just stopped recording.
Yeah, we just decided we should wrap it up.
Okay. Well, that
Is
was.
there anything weird and political we want to discuss in 10 minutes?
can't
No,
think of
JK,
anything,
we
so-
shouldn't do that. That's what we did last time. It didn't work out.
Oh.
We don't have to talk about that.
That
but-
doesn't exist. I'm sorry. I'm trying to tie my
Maybe.
shoe for some reason.
What should we?
How should we wrap it up?
Well, I will say this. Eventually, I will discuss Frozen. Eventually, Jeremiah will discuss his. If we have him back on anytime soon,
Yeah,
he'll just.
hopefully.
Yeah, we'll discuss his amazing story with the police.
We said in 10 episodes, so about 9 more
Right.
episodes.
Eventually, I'm just whetting their appetites.
What would that be? That'd be like March.
Don't.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long time until you
Yeah.
hear this story, but it's worth it, man.
Yeah, and so that's some stuff. Yeah, and we're gonna watch Hereditary. For anyone who wants to join in on Friday night movie night, but not at Tyler's.
Not at Tyler's house.
You're not.
at Tyler's.
You're not actually in the
You can
club.
join the club, but not with us.
You're right.
You'll just be there.
Also, it's a $15 a month subscription at the club.
Yeah, you can come watch a movie with us. You just have to pay us.
No, they aren't allowed to come either. They just.
Just send us $15. How should I end this? Right, well, thanks for listening. I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting time.
Tune in next week. Like, we're trying to get this started. We already had
Sorry
a lot
that
of people.
we didn't talk about Bible Man or
Yeah.
Larry Boy, but that's.
I thought it was a good episode still. Yeah, definitely tune in.
Who would win in a death battle between Darth Vader and Bible Man? They both have lightsabers.
Bible
Bible Man, because he has God on his side.
Yeah.
You're right.
Bible Man, literally.
What about Bible Man versus Yoda?
It's
Bible
still
Man.
Bible Man.
Wow.
If Bible Man chooses that Yoda has to die, then Yoda is going to die.
You're right. Bible
Like-
Man is the best.
Okay. So
Even if Yoda killed her,
please
Right,
go.
he'll just come back.
he'd just come back.
Yoda
and
can
go.
only come back as a ghost.
Yeah.
Bible Man can come back as the Holy Ghost.
Yeah.
Go subscribe to our Twitter at the Wastelands. I don't have.
I will have links for SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitter, and yeah.
But yeah, well, I'll link all this stuff on our Twitter if you guys follow us, because I want more followers,
Wow.
because I'm egotistical. Also, listen, just, keep listening to our podcast, man. Please, come on, subscribe to our everything. Thanks for listening, man. Thanks for listening, man. Thank you, man. Bye. I love you. Good night.
Find you. I will cut you up. I'll beat you up. I'll knock you on your backside, stand on your gut like a log roller, and roll your fat right through your skull. Throwing it wide open. 'Cause that's what you deserve, you goddamn womanizing, raping, trolling, stupid, pickle-suited,